Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. We, the third day, actually fourth day, recording this in 2026. Happy New Year, people. I hope everybody has spent a great holiday and a happy New Year. Best wishes all in the 2026 for this beginning of a new year. Ton of blessing, tons of everything that everything will be in front of you, and I wish you and your family a happy new year for 2026. That being said, let's go.
Dice is on the beat.
Today, on this brand new episode of the podcast of 2026, we're going to talk about this topic that I think I have prepared it. I prepared it for a while, ago. So let's get into it to talk about this. So my first topic in this year 2026 is the college football playoff. Not just the playoff, but the bowl games and so on and so forth. But let's talk about the bowl game first, because it seems like the bowl games is n- not pleasant to see. And what I mean about not pleasant to see, it's like the uh, bowl game is pretty much useless. It's like it's not like what it used to be back in the day. Uh, it's not like what it used to be back in the day when the 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 bowl game used to be something. And the reason why I say this is because it, the bowl game used to be something special. Even though I'm not a college football guy, but I've seen a lot of the content creator discussion about the depth of the bowl game, and I want to read an article, this article about the Sport Illustrated, that the bowl game is officially deaf. So I wanna I want a little bit to share with you guys about this. I want to share about this so we can read this. So let's read this together. The college football executive declared bowl game officially deaf amid the new controversy. The new controversy of the bowl game. So let's read this. Sorry if there's something what happened on my computer. So let's read this. The historical decision by the Blue Blood program to opt out of the bowl game following the snuff from the playoff could have enormous ramification of the college football bowl season. So we're not going to read it a lot, but I'm going to read this. this part of the this one, this offshore about the bowl game. So after being snubbed from playoff consideration on selection day, Notre Dame stunned the college football world by declining to take part of the postseason competition, and a person involved in the bowl system has suggested that the move could spell its end. The bowl system we know now is officially dead. A college football executive said via on One Sport Brett Murphy, they added RP. It was a nice one while it lasted. So, so I don't know if everybody had paid attention to see the bowl game, but there's like less and less people are interesting watching the bowl game because they're like, number one, it's not interesting, and two, it's in the middle of season, in the middle of the playoff, and I will tell you this: both have valid points, and the reason why I say this because many times, actually, it happened also last year too because that was my first time to see a bowl game. Even though I'm not a huge college football fan, but I watched some highlights of the bowl games. I was not impressed. When I say I'm not impressed, I'm not talking about the football game. I'm talking about the experience from a fan to witness a bowl game. Because you see less and less fan getting into bowl game, and and that hurts me a lot because those athletes work entire season to whatever to try to make the playoff or not. At least I wish they had that experience to be part of something special in the bowl game. But the issue I have it, and this is going to be after when I talk about the college playoff system, is that you guys are putting in the middle in like in December during the playoff during the playoff of the college football game, and it's not really pleasant to see. It's not really pleasant to see because now you see it you see games in the bowl game you see less and less fans, and it's not good at all. It's not good at all. It's pretty much um, a bad thing what the NCAA tried to do in football. Not just that, you put it in the middle at the end where the playoff. No, I said the playoff started, but also that you guys are putting bowl games right after the playoff, which is pretty much a fuckery. When I say this, you are trying to mess the those bowl games. And I blame the NCAA. Like I said a couple of seconds ago, the commissioner of the the commissioner of the NCAA had to do something about this. And that's which I will talk about my next topic about the college playoff issue. I don't know everybody, or you see everybody is talking about this. We saw blowout after blowout, blowout after blowout. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Uh, Oregon versus Jay Madison blowout game, win by Oregon. I don't need to tell the score. You guys saw the score. If you have watched the playoffs, you know what I mean. Tulane. I believe it was Tulane. If I'm not mistaken, I had to check on it. I had to check on it. Um, during the college playoff playoff game. Um, college playoff game. What was it? I mean, it was a blowout game. Like Ole Miss versus Tulane, a blowout game, a blowout game. Like a talk about Oregon versus James Madison blowout game. Something is really wrong. And I'm not saying that there's no competitive because I think every college school are very competitive on what they're doing. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong about that. But the issue is like we cannot continue to watch college football and we seen blowout game. Same thing with the bowl game, but the bowl game is a little bit different. It also another issue I have with the bowl game and with the playoffs because you play the bowl game in the playoffs too. That half seat empty, and I understand because of the time issue. The time issue between the East Coast and the West Coast. I understand that, but my main thing is you guys need to resolve this. And and my third question is going to be how can we? What is the solution? So for the solution between bowl game and the playoff. So this is my solution. This is going to be my solution. My solution is this: you start the regular season early August. Early August, let's say this early August in the 15 in the summer. After the regular season is finished, in November, in mid-November to mid-December, you had bowl game. Bowl game in the middle of November to the middle of December. Bowl game. Then in the late December, you have playoff. But people will say this, and don't you think it's a little bit too uh let's say this? Don't you think it's too many not too many playoffs because of the bracket? Because the next 2 years they will have 16 team over 12 team, and there's another issue what people are complaining about. There's too many team in the playoff. That part to me, it doesn't really bother me at all. It doesn't really bother me at all. It will never bother me at all because I think it's gonna evolve. Every 2 3 year college football is gonna be evolved. Things gonna change. Things gonna happen. It is what it is. And people say this should go back to a four team playoff team, the best 14. And my answer is gonna be no. I don't know. You heard Rob Parker said. I think he's better. He's rather to see a fourth best team in the college playoff rather to a 12th team. My issue with that with the 14, it's gonna be the same. One of those two teams we'll get a blowout. That's not going to change. And we saw a blowout game in the playoff. So that's normal. That's normal to me. That's normal. That's normal. But those are my solution for the playoff and the bowl game. Like I said, my idea: you put the regular season early August and you end it in November. Then you finish in November. In the mid November to mid December, you had bowl game, and the last bowl game you can have one of those like the Citrus Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Rose Bowl. Those teams who qualify in the playoff, and then in January you start the college national championship. That's my solution. Like I said a couple of minutes ago, that's my solution. Co- Comment on my video if you like the idea. If you love this idea of start the college football game in the in mid August and end in November, and in mid November to mid December bowl game, bowl game, bowl game, and the late December playoff. If you like the idea, comment on my video, and and I want to hear your idea. So that's my idea for this college football game. Speaking of college sports, that's what I'll talk about. The next topic is college basketball. College basketball. So I don't know if you heard a couple of days ago that a former a former NBA player had had decided to go back to college to go back to college and they play in college. Uh, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, so a former um, NBA draft player, James Nnaji, had decided to go back to college after he got drafted to the Charlotte Hornet in the 35th, the 35th pick. I think it was 2 years ago. Then he played overseas. Then he decided to come back in college to be eligible to play in college basketball. So I want you guys to read this topic on it's on ESPN. So I'm gonna share this video again. So let's read it together. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it so you guys probably gonna understand. As the calendar flipped to 2026 and the college basketball schedule turned to conference play, the biggest story in the sport isn't about what happened on the court. It's about James Nnaji, who became the first former NBA draft pick to be cleared by the NCAA and signed with the Baylor on Christmas Eve. While Nnaji never played an official NBA game, the 31st pick in the 2023 pick draft did participate in that summer league, and it was later part of the three-team trade that brought Karl-Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks. The Knicks still own Nnaji's draft rights to this day. Now, after playing past couple of years in Europe, Nnaji could suit up for Baylor as soon as this Saturday when the Bears travel to TCU. Ultimately, Nnaji is just the latest example of growing trend professional player opting to pursue college basketball because the lucrative opportunity that comes with revenue share and NIL. How did how did we get here, and what could happen next? ESPN college basketball reporter Jeff Borzello and Myron Metcalf break down the biggest ticking point. So I'm not gonna read the rest, so you guys can 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 read it by yourself on ESPN. And I'm gonna tell you this: John Calipari and other coach were not happy with 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 this decision of a former player um, coming back to college. So I'm gonna share this video with you guys.
When
With,
it
with you guys. So I'm gonna share with you guys this video. Hold on, I'm gonna share it. And I hate this commercial break too. So I'm gonna share with you guys.
came time to take things to the next level, I knew that I had to make a website. And Wix,
Well, this is a John Calipari reaction to what about the former NBA draft coming back to college to play college basketball. So listen to his reaction, please.
Look, I don't blame coaches. You know, I've got friends that are playing with 27-year-olds and they feel bad. I said, don't feel bad. We don't have any rules. Why should you feel bad? But let me give you this. Real simple. The rules bees the rules. So if you put your name in the draft, I don't care if you're from Russia and you stay in the draft, you can't play college basketball. Well, that's only for American kids. What? If your name is in that draft and you got drafted, you can't play because that's our rule. Yeah, but that's only for American kids. Okay. Now, here's the next lawsuit. Well, we don't have a say over European players. You do if they're playing in college basketball. So that means you don't have a say over high school kids. So whatever a high school kid does before he comes here, don't you do one thing because there's a suit. Because what you're saying is, if he's in Europe, we don't have the same rules. What? If he puts his name in the draft, can't go to college. He left his name in. Well, that's different because he's European. Okay, you're not doing anything with a high school player then. We don't have any jurisdiction over a high school player, do we? We don't. So when they come, you just got to say, all right, now they're here. The other thing, the eligibility. Again, real simple. You got 5 years to play 4. If you stay at the same school 4 years, we'll give you a 5th year. If your coach leaves or is fired, you can transfer without penalty. You can do it once. And if the coach is fired or leaves, you can end up doing it twice. But after that, you got to sit out. You transfer, but you got to sit out. Does anybody care what this is doing for 17 and 18-year-old American kids? Do you know what this opportunity has done for them and their families? There aren't going to be any high school kids. Who other than dumb people like me are going to recruit high school kids? I get so much satisfaction out of coaching young kids and seeing them grow and make it and their family life changes that I'm going to keep doing it. But why would anybody else, if you can get NBA players, G League players, guys that are 28 years old, guys from Europe, do we really know their transcript? Do we have somebody over there? Do we really know their birth certificate? Or don't we? And then, there's no. Look, Tommy Izzo, Mark Few, there are a bunch of us that are just, we got no rules. Why did they let that kid play? Tell us all. Here's what the reason. Then we'll all go get pros. We'll go find them. Here's my second thing. You ready? No one listens to me. I told you. My wife, I talked to her. She's not even listening. She got ear things in, and I didn't know. I'm talking to her. You ready? Mid-season. unless you're in the school. This is an easy rule. We can do this, NCAA. Don't tell me about lawsuits. If you join a program at midseason, you cannot play that season. If you're in school and have to get yourself eligible, that's okay. You can play the second term without playing the first. What? So now let me ask you this. What does that do for the kids in the program that you're bringing kids in at midseason when it was their opportunity? I mean, I just don't get any of this. And again, Tommy, Mark Few, myself, we got my son, their sons are in this. I just want to help it before I'm out for my kid. I'm very selfish, but it's for that. But this stuff here, I just gave you what we could do. I'm going to give you one other. The collectives on our campuses, whether you're doing it through your media people, whatever, cannot be involved in recruiting in any way or transfers. But if a kid's on your campus for a year, give them what you want to stay. So we'll get more kids staying. How about this? It'll be great for them academically. They'll probably make more money, but they'll be academic. We're not going to have kids leaving after transferring 4 times. What's the percentage of kids that make the NBA? Unless you play for me, what would be the percentage?
2.
Like it's like 1% or less? That means 99% of the college players that are getting money, it's fugazi. Fugazi. Because they're getting 400, 500, 800, a million, and they're not pros. So now they have to go get a job after 4 stops. No college degree. No loyalty from the state or the program or anybody. You were a mercenary. Okay. Now you got to go get a job. I don't care what a kid makes. It doesn't. But I do care what we're doing to young people. If all these kids could make $4 million, I don't care. But what we're doing by letting them have transfer at will, transfer once. Coach leaves, you can go twice without penalty. But other than that, you got to sit out because now you get 3 years at one school. You're going to get a college degree. You can't be 30. You got 5 years. Clock is ticking. If you go pro, I don't care what country you're from. You leave your name in. You cannot play college basketball. If you transfer mid-season, can't play. You got to sit out. How about we just do that stuff? We can do it without having Congress and the Senate getting 60 votes. We can do that. Let them sue us on that stuff. I wish you wouldn't have asked me that question.
John Calipari is not the only one who's reacting like this. Tom Izzo also reacting about the NCAA, what they're doing about this situation. He's not the only one. So
I don't know the whole situation. I'm a little disappointed. Scott's a good friend of mine, and he was on the committees and didn't seem to be lenient in that. But what's happened at 3 or 4 schools right now, I mean, I just asked. And all these people write all these things about me, and they're all wrong. So, they want to talk about coaches can do what they want. And they said, I'm still talking strictly, not for the program, for the kid. So I asked Cohen, would you be okay if I went and got Miles, brought him back? And I sat you. I mean, you laugh, but that's what we're doing. Somebody's sitting. Somebody's not playing. I just don't think that's fair for the players. I mean, some of them, worked their butt off to get to this position, and maybe things didn't go right. I'm a little surprised. I got to call into Scott. I'm anxious to see what he tells me. I mean, I'm not saying that we're holier than thou art or anybody should not do this or that, but if we're dipping into that one, if it's like I'm reading or hearing, I don't read it because I don't go on Twitter, but what I'm hearing, and now we're taking guys that were drafted for the NBA and everything. I said it to you a month and a half ago. Come on, Magic and Gary, let's go, baby. Let's do it. Why not? I mean, if that's what we're going to, shame on the NCAA. You know, shame on the coaches too, but shame on the NCAA because coaches are going to do what they got to do, I guess. But the NCAA is the one, those people on those committees that are making those decisions to allow something so ridiculous and not think of the kid. So everybody talks about me thinking of my program or selfish. No, get that straight for all of you. I'm thinking of what is best for my son if he was in that position. And I just don't agree with it.
Because you've shown the ability to adapt, but that's
Adapt.
there's like that
It's gonna get
line.
me.
Yeah.
It's going to get me here. Write this one down
Yeah.
for you guys. It's going to get me.
So you heard what uh Tom Izzo got to say about uh, 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 this situation. I'm gonna say this. I totally agree with John Calipari and Tom Izzo. And I've been saying it in my mind. I said this: if a kid put their name into the draft, he cannot come back to in college. He cannot go back to college. I'm sorry. It's the fact. It's facts. It's like to me, somebody who's finished college. I know it's a bad example, but I'll try to do my best. Like somebody came finish had left 4 year in college, find a job, but decided to come back to play play basketball. That's not normal. I know this is a bad example, but I can't figure out what other example. I agree with John Calipari because if your name, you put your name in a draft and you get drafted and you don't play any single link in the NBA, but you decide to play overseas basketball and you decide to come back to play another year of basketball, no. I totally agree because it's very unfair for 17, 18 years old kid. And what does it do for the person, the coach who's recruiting those 17-year high school? What does it do? They are going to be in trouble. They're going to be in trouble because you cannot coach somebody who have been eligible play 4 year in college. I don't know how many years he played in college. 4 year in college, get put his name on the draft, and and decide a couple years to come back. No, it's not fair. It's not fair for the team, for the college team who 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 probably going probably not going to the probably going to the NBA or probably not going to be going to the NBA. What does it do for them? It's not fair. And I don't blame the coach. I blame the NCAA. Ever since the NIL started in 2020 21, I believe it was 2000, it was in 2020 or 21, but I said 2021. Ever since the NIL started, the NCAA did a piss poor job. And I said there's a piss poor job because because ever since it started, like there is no rules. There is no rules. I can't yell because the neighbor's trying to sleep. I can't yell because if I did that in the morning, I'll blow a gasket. Ever since it started, the NIL started, you see multiple transfer portal. We seen a multiple transfer portal. We've seen the players, NFL player, not NFL. I mean, college football player, basketball player, any sport. They want their money only about money, and that's the reason why the NCAA should be ashamed of themselves They should be ashamed of themselves what they're doing. No rule. It's pretty fucked up. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care what you're feeling. How you feel. I don't care how you feel, people. It's really fucked up. They're really fucked up because a kid 17, 18 years old want to be in the roster spot. Recruiting, especially recruiting. Trying to make it a team. Probably his dream to be in the NBA. And then you bring this former player who already got drafted in the NBA, play overseas, came back, take other people's spot. No. No, 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 no. It does not work like that. If you put your name, and I said this, you put your fucking motherfucking name into the draft, you don't come back to college. I don't care. Maybe you're freshman. If you're freshman year, yes, I could understand. I probably understand that. But you play 4 years, over 4 years. You got drafted. You go play overseas. Even though he didn't play in the NBA link in the NBA, he played in the summer league overseas. Come back, take somebody's spot. And also the worst part is in the mid season. That's even worse. That's even worse. Even worse than I ever thought. So shame on the NCAA. Shame on them for doing that. And once again, there's no rule. It's only about one thing: greed. Man, I don't want to yell because it's people are sleeping. So I'm really pissed off. So so um, moving on. Another last topic for this 2026. And I know you got the NFL. I'm not going to talk about the NFL today. I'm not going to talk the NFL between the Panthers, the Buccaneers, and the Seahawks versus 49ers. I didn't have time. I know it's early. It's pretty much like what here 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:40 in the morning, and they're already playing. So I'm not going to talk about that. Moving on, let's talk about the WNBA. So maybe you're probably going to be a lockout. So you're probably going to be a lockout. I think so. So I want to um, read something, an article that what the let's say this like what I believe what Kaylee Clark says something. Yeah, on the U.S. Sun, and then I'm gonna talk and then I will show a video of a guy talk about injuries. Talk about the NCAA, not NCAA. Fuck the NCAA. About probably the WNBA could go to a lockout. So I want to share it. So we're gonna read this article from the Sun. So so I want to read this if I can find the article, or we could watch the video. So my, my bad. I just fucking pissed. I just fucking pissed about the NCAA. My apology about, but this is ridiculous. So hold on, I'm gonna go back. So let's play. Well, if you don't know what's going on, if you don't know what's going on, so Kelly Clark has breaker science talk about the NBA the NBA lockout. So for those who live in an umbrella, uh, the WNBA probably going to go on lockout because of the share revenue issue that players are not making money, and I think players are voicing their frustration about this. So I went to do my research, and one guy talked about probably potentially going to a lockout. So I want to share it. So then I'll give my opinion on it. So that's just what I'm gonna say.
Out, and there are four pressure points driving it. First, revenue share. Players currently get about 9 to 10%. They're asking for 30. The league's counter is still under 15, and that's the core fight. Second is roster size. Right now it's at 12. Players want 15, more jobs and more security. Third is childcare, not a perk, a necessity. Fourth, retirement, being taken care of when basketball is done. Now here's where it gets complicated. Reportedly, the WNBA brought in about $200 million a season ago, but still showed a $40 million loss and remains subsidized by the NBA at roughly $15 million annually. The league minimum plus revenue share for a rookie lands around $196,000. Sounds solid until you factor in jock taxes. Players pay taxes in every city and state they work in, and that number shrinks fast. Players believe there's $181 million unaccounted for. The league says there isn't. The losses are real, subsidies are real, and the expansion of charter flights costs money. That's it. That's the standoff.
So you heard what this guy, Drew, I believe Drew Duncan on his radio talked about the issue with the WNBA. Here's my thought about this. Yes, the WNBA are losing. Yeah, and by the way, I am wearing my older WNBA hoodie, so I will support the players. Here's the problem: they are losing money. They want to uh, 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 not increase but lift the revenue about 30%, which is fine. And also, and I agree with this one because I think they need to upgrade the roster. Is instead of to be 12, should be 15 because that's all what they got. I mean, the WNBA are losing ton of money. That means flight commercial, even though they had those personal private jet, those, those what is it? Those merch. I don't think they get paid for their merch. I looked at I compare I don't have I don't have time to do this, but I compare to a salary to an NBA to a salary of the WNBA. It's like, damn, the WNBA make thousands of K's. Meanwhile, the WNBA are making millions. Yeah, I know it's like big brother, little brother, little sister. I understand that, and also the WNBA are under the umbrella of the NBA. That's we can get that. But my main issue with that is that the commissioner did a piss poor job. And I understand with the team expansion, which is a fantastic idea. They should expand other team, and I think that that was a great idea. But at the same time, you guys are losing money, and I'm afraid that if they don't find any solution, they're probably going to be a lockout. And I'm sorry to say that they're probably going to be a lockout until they resolve this issue. They're probably not going to be a WNBA. Not only that, they're probably not gonna be a draft. They're probably gonna be a draft, but they're probably not gonna be a what do you call this? What do you call this? NBA regular season. Yeah, and the playoff too, but especially regular season. So that's all I gotta say about that. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast of Too Good to Be True podcast, hosted by your boy Pascal Mayala. Follow me on my Instagram, um, Pascal underscore Mayala underscore 15. You can go also on Threads. You can follow me on Threads. And you can follow me on Facebook, Pascal Mayala. Instagram at Belly with its BMM. You can see the link on my YouTube channel, Too Good to Be True podcast. It's also available over there, so you can notify, likes, leave your comment on my video, and you can listen to this on my on Spotify.